question for you. What do you think spiders would say if they could talk?
Interesting.
Wow.
I mean, first of all, they'll be complaining all the time that people are messing up with their webs, right?
Of course.
It's
Yeah.
like I worked so hard to put my web on your window, and then in a single movement, you
yeah.
destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that would be the first thing, right? Just to like communicate that, like, dude, I'm working hard on this, and you're like, yeah, like imagine that you've been working on a painting for a year,
Yeah.
and then someone just like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be horrible.
So I guess that's mainly what they'll be saying. But like, I wonder if there'll be anything interesting for them to tell us about like their spider lives, you know?
Because isn't there a phrase of like being you say fly on the wall, but you could also be a spider on the wall.
You
like,
can definitely be a spider on the wall.
Because you hear and see a lot about other people's lives.
Yes.
But then their perception's quite different and their eyes work very different. So
have
I'm not
a
sure how
lot
much
of-
they actually
They
take
have a
in.
lot of eyes.
Yeah, they have a lot of eyes.
Yeah.
They see everything. But you know how like in like theoretical politics?
Yeah.
Because right. What? So like
Yeah, you know spiders. So in theoretical politics.
so like bees and ants are often used as an example for like communism because they like work together as a hive, and it's kind of like
It's like termites would also be like
and like
this.
one individual works
Yeah.
for the common good, like
True.
so everybody can have a good life. What do you think spiders would be? Because I feel like they're more like they're definitely not communists. They're maybe a bit
No,
more
they're
like,
definitely not communists.
No, they're more like me. I want to have a good life.
I mean, it's interesting. Do spiders live in like communities? Like each web that we see, it's made by only one spider.
Yeah, as far as I know, and I am weirdly obsessed with like nature documentaries, they definitely don't work in communities because spiders do also eat each other. Like if there's a bigger spider and a smaller spider tries to build a nest nearby, the bigger spider will eat the smaller spider because it's like, this is my space.
So it sounds like spiders are libertarians, right?
Yeah, they're very capitalistic, I think.
Yeah, it's like each to their own.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
I'll eat you if you're a threat.
Yeah, I think so.
So in Austria it would be like neos, like the spiders would, because if they get to speak, they also probably get a vote, right?
Or they're like ÖVP.
UFO.
Because they're kind of like capitalistic.
Interesting.
All for the Wirtschaft. Like the economy.
Yeah, but like I feel like neos are more like classic capitalism of like let's get the market as free as possible and let it like naturally grow because we believe that that's what happens.
The market controls itself.
Yeah, exactly. We believe that that's what happens when you let the market like move on their own, but like move on its own. But like the ÖVP, they're like more like the party of the elites, right?
Yeah, they're very elitist.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about like the other day that like all the Austrian parties have nothing to do with their names.
Absolutely not.
Right? Like the Freiheitspartei, the FPÖ.
They're not very freiheitlich.
They're not about freedom.
No.
The Volkspartei are not about the Austrian
people.
folk.
No.
The Socialist Party are not socialists.
They're not really
The
socialist.
Communist Party are not communists.
Not in a traditional way now. I guess the only one true to their name are maybe Grüne because they're green.
Yeah, but
That's
that's such like an easy like
Yeah.
like I like nature. Who doesn't like nature? Like maybe Neos, but like
ÖVP does not like nature because that's against capitalism.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I always thought about like all these like alliances that you could make, if people like because like the FPÖ makes like the major thing the immigration.
Yeah.
And then it's really hard to work with them because they have like very unreasonable policies that are also impossible to implement. But that's like a different thing. But like. I can imagine like really good coalition of like the FPÖ and the Greens because they're both about conserving stuff, you know, like let's conserve nature, you know? It can really work.
Oh my god.
Like,
that coalition would be insane.
Yeah, like imagine a coalition. Like the only thing we can agree upon is like we want to conserve stuff. Yeah, let's conserve stuff.
One person wants to conserve the purity of a race, and the other one wants to conserve nature.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Let's just conserve everything.
It does just sound like nothing would ever happen though, because they would be constantly fighting.
That's the point.
So nothing would change because also nothing's happening at the moment.
That's what conserving is about. Non-change.
Genau. Genau. Yeah. I've been trying to figure out like what I would be happiest with, and like honestly, absolutely none. Yeah.
You mean with the coalition?
Coalition-wise. Yeah, coalition-wise. Like trying to figure out like, oh, what do I think would be the best?
Yeah.
I mean, from my point of view.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the best thing would be like a Kike-led government, actually.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because like I have a couple of reasons for that.
Please argue that.
Yeah.
I want to hear those reasons. Please, quickly.
This is like, I have no idea how many people in the audience are like, what are they who's Kike? What are they talking about? This is like so, right? Like for some reason, I'm not a big like political expert, but for some reason I have some knowledge of Austrian politics because
so
I've been
the most
here.
like right-wing conservative guy would make the best like leadership?
No, but I think this is the best government for Austria for a couple of reasons.
Yes.
First of all, this is the most democratic solution because, like, clearly Nehammer lost.
Yeah.
He clearly lost. Like, if he forms a government with the SPU, this would be the most anti-democratic thing possible, and like the result of that would be that the FPÖ would become stronger because they'll lead the opposition.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
And like next time they'll get like
even more.
90 seats, you know, like it will be insane.
Yeah.
So I think it's better to let them govern when they have like less influence. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that like it's not only the FPÖ, like all your politicians are extremely stupid.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like,
dumb as fuck.
They're so dumb. It's like, it's insane. Like, I have no idea why people like are voting for them, but like...
Who knows?
Yeah.
The people don't know.
Yeah, because like most people here are not dumb. Like most Austrian people that I met are actually quite smart. So like I have no idea why you vote for such dumb people. But like again, like
but the thing is like
also,
we're annoyed. We're like most people I know are like I don't know who. Most people this election as well also like I don't know who to vote for. Everybody's horrible.
Yeah.
Like so why are these people the ones that are like the face of their parties?
But that's what I'm saying, because there are other parties that are not in parliament. If we just like don't vote to the traditional parties, you'll get like better parties in parliament. Yeah. But like anyways, I think they're so stupid they won't be able to like implement anything they want to do. And like I think actually if they'll be in government now, it will be perfect because then people will see how stupid they are and how incompetent they are, and they'll never be elected for government again.
I've heard that argument a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm so torn about that.
Yeah.
Because like I see the logic in that, but also it's so scary.
Yeah.
Like the idea of just like, oh, they can't do any harm, just let them do it. Like, for me, it's like, is that from a perspective, like, because I've had like people say that to me where I was like, you're speaking from quite a like privileged position where like if they do implement their like ideas, it won't affect you, but it will affect me and my family and my life. So I'm like, and my friends and people I know. So like I'm so torn on that argument because I get it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yes, like because if we don't let them do their stuff now, they definitely will get more powerful.
Exactly.
Like, I 100% agree with that because people like are still a bit stupid. as intelligent as the average Austrian is, like I feel like not like kind of undercutting them and being like, no, actually, even though you got voted, you don't get to govern. People will get angry. It's popular. Like the FPÖ will have more like ammunition, like in the media as well. They're like, this is
it's anti-democratic. It's like it's clear that the elites and the media are working against that. It would be very 100%. Very easy to make this argument.
They'll make the argument for itself. Like it's just like, it's just right there. And on the other hand, I'm like, but saying like, oh, the Nazis and the right wing can't do any harm, and let them do it for a little bit. Just like historically, from an Austrian perspective, is like the scariest thing ever.
True,
like,
but like another argument, and that's important. I think like a lot of people like call these like new right-wing parties, these reactionary parties, like fascists. I'm sorry, I don't think they're fascists. Because like, and I'll tell you why. Because like, if you look at all historical fascist movements, they had two important elements that all these new right-wing parties throughout Europe don't have. They had armed militias that are paramilitary. All of these movements don't have them.
That's true. We're a neutral country.
Yeah, and they were, and they had these insane death cult ceremonies, and they worshipped death. Like the FPÖ are like stupid. You may even say they're evil, but they're not death worshippers. So like
they're just incredibly ignorant.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these parties, like they're not good. They shouldn't be in government, right?
Yeah.
But like I think like saying that like these like Marie Le Pen and like and the FPÖ and what's his name in the Netherlands, Geert Wilders.
I was thinking UK, the
Nigel
UKIP?
Farage.
Yeah.
Like all these people, they're not fascists, right? And I think calling them fascists is like the boy who cries wolf, because when the real fascists will come, people won't, they won't believe you anymore.
Yeah.
Because you said, but you said that these guys are fascists.
Yeah. I think the I think that is like maybe a bit more of a theoretical, because like, yes, compared to like, obviously like, as with traditional fascism.
Yeah. Classic fascism.
Classic fascism, opposed to like, like, I don't know, neo-fascism.
Yeah.
They don't have the same like first and foremost power, as you said, in military sense.
Yeah.
And maybe they're not as crazy, but I think those things grow in time. And I think it's a seed that makes a tree.
Yeah.
So like,
but this is again an argument to give them power in government, because it's again about this reactionary politics.
Yeah.
Because as long as all the parties will just ignore them and tell them like, we don't work with you, they will have to take on more extreme positions in order to get like media attention.
Yeah. I'm thinking very much like, how will it affect people right now?
Yeah.
And like, there's one thing of saying like, in the future, like, can we hope for them getting less power? Or if we give them power now, they will also grow their power, because they will put themselves in stronger positions. They will put funds in their own pockets and make sure they will grow and grow and grow and grow. I think that's very hard to predict.
Yes, for sure.
And I think for the like current living person, in any country, if you look at the UK with Brexit.
Yeah.
Like, they've made lives for people worse in this lifetime, for people who are now who were fed an idea of like, we need Brexit because we need to keep foreigners out and it will make our country better.
Yeah.
And who are now massively regretting it, and who are
and now
can't afford rent or heating.
Yeah.
And
now there's even like more immigration.
Yeah.
But it's just legal.
Yeah. So like,
they just lied to them. It's just like, again, this neoliberal lie.
Exactly. So it has made people's lives worse in a tangible current way.
True.
But of course, I get the idea of being like, is it still the smaller evil to what might come?
Yeah.
But it's still a might. It's difficult.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think these like reactionary right-wing parties are often framed in a more extreme way that they actually are.
I think with Kikl especially, it's because a lot of the rhetoric is very Nazi-esque. Like they use terms like Volkskanzler.
Yeah.
He calls himself the Volkskanzler, and that term was only used for Hitler.
Yeah.
And that is a choice. That is a choice that he calls himself that.
Of course.
He can't claim ignorance and be like, oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like,
he's
of course, head of the party, and people have actively called him out on it, like, and he still calls himself that.
Yeah.
He makes a statement to be like, yes, call me that.
Yeah.
Call me Volkskanzler as you did Hitler.
Yeah.
Like, that is a personal choice. And what does that say for intention? And what does that say for, like, stance?
Yeah. True. But, yeah. I mean, I think to get back to the question, I think Kikil is a bit like a spider, right?
We were on spiders.
He's spider-esque.
Yeah, he's definitely a spider. I might also call him a snake.
Yeah, but I mean that's just the situation. I have to say, if it was the other way around, people were also scared. Like, imagine that the KPÖ would have become like as strong as the FPÖ. I think that a lot of people would be really scared from like the other side. They would try to like implement their crazy policies. They're like they'll turn the frogs gay, you know, like.
I don't understand that fear. I think
no, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I know that, like, you know, there's like fear on both sides.
Yeah.
I am always like, okay, but which of those affects you personally, and which of those is realistic? Like, they'll turn the frogs gay, and everybody's gonna force me to be trans and gay and have transsexual illegal surgeries in prison, to quote Trump, is also used as a propaganda. Like, that is literally saying, like, people who want their personal freedom are gonna take my freedom away. They're evil.
Yeah.
That's very tricky. That's a landmine to walk on, I think, because like equating people who are like, can we give humans rights, to like right-wing fascists? Yes, people would be afraid of that, but is it a realistic fear?
No, the fear is not about that, because I have some conservative friends. Like the main fear is about social cohesion. I think for every functioning state, you have to have some level of social cohesion. Otherwise, everything falls apart. Like, can you agree with this statement?
Can you define it more?
Like, you can't have a...
What do you mean by social cohesion?
You can't have a society where everyone is like their own thing, their own like special little snowflake, like they like to say, right? You have to have some kind of like a basis. Like in the US, you have the Constitution. You have to have like some kind of like a basis upon which people agree how they want to live their lives, right?
It's very abstract.
True. That's the problem. But like, that's why they're afraid of like refugees, for example. Like you bring all these Muslim people, and they have like a very specific way of living, which is very different than the Austrian way of life traditionally. And this disrupts the social order. Like, it can be disruptive in a good way, but it can be also disruptive in a destructive way, because it makes people question the very basis of the state. And of course, you might think that this is great, and I might think this is great. But again, in order for the state to function, this is a problem. And most people still believe in the state. You know what I mean?
Okay, I just don't believe in the state. I think maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, and then comes the question, so why do you vote if you don't believe in the state?
Because I still live in it.
You see, so it's not black and white. It's not either you believe in the state or not believe.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say like I don't believe in the state.
Yeah.
That's not my stance. Like, I'm also not like an anarchist.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm just thinking of like, say, for an example, we take London. Obviously, London is a bubble in itself.
Yes.
From like that, you have maybe England, you have England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, which form the UK but are different in themselves, in their politics. And you have London. And London is like a crazy bubble.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to London, I feel, I mean, it's crazy because it's super busy, but I also feel extremely comfortable because nowhere in Europe can I be around so many people who are so different in one place, who are so harmonious in a way. Yes, they're grumpy, they're Londoners, but they get along.
Yes.
And I have a lot of friends from London living in Austria who are scared by the uniformity of Austria.
Yeah.
Austria is extremely white. In its largest amount. Austria is extremely white compared to like a lot of other places in the world, and specifically larger cities. Even Vienna is extremely white compared to like London. And a lot of my friends from UK, that makes them uneasy in Austria. And it makes them especially uneasy, and it makes me uneasy, that when there's the slightest bit of variation in Austria, say you have people moving in from like Muslim countries or Jewish countries who like are brown.
There's only one Jewish country.
Countries was very, absolutely. They immediately feel threatened.
Yeah.
Because it adds variation to the culture and to the people and to the life. But my friends from London would still consider a lot of people from the Middle East white. Like we've had this conversation where they were like, "Oh, but the place is so white," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people from Turkey and from the Arab Emirates and so on." And they were like, "Yeah, but those are still white," and they don't necessarily consider them a different, like that is like a very London thing as well, where it's like there's so much variety in this way that like racism looks different. Like racism looks completely different in the UK. Like in the UK, people are racist towards Polish people, even though they're white, but they're considered like, you know, they're like working class.
Yeah, it's probably mainly because they're Catholic. Yeah.
Also, whereas like Austrians are happily racist towards people from Turkey or also people from like the Balkans. Whereas like, why are white people racist towards other white people? That's crazy. I think we need a little bit more variation in Austria.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that variation is bad. I'm just saying that like I can understand the fears of people of like too much variation that can lead to complete like social incohesion.
We've never had that. Like, when have we ever had that? What is like? Can you give me an example of complete social incohesion?
Historically, you mean?
Or in the world right now?
It's a good question.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to make the argument for a side that I don't.
I know.
Yeah. But like.
But I think for me, that's something I can't grasp. What does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's really interesting now in the States to see what's going to happen, because you have so many people coming from Spanish-speaking countries, and Spanish is almost becoming like a second language.
Yeah.
And like the ripple effects of this thing like will be insane. Like maybe insanely good or insanely bad. We don't know yet.
People speaking more languages is never a bad thing, in my opinion. And we have areas in Austria where it's like that.
Yeah. I mean, I get like...
with Slovenia.
Yeah. I mean, look at the history of China, for example.
Yeah.
It has like a history, or Japan. It's the same thing. They had a history of like breaking apart and like unification, breaking apart, unification.
Yeah.
So maybe people have a fear of that like you get like after World War II, you got Europe in such like a delicate state of like countries like actually getting along after like people couldn't like stop murdering each other for hundreds of years.
Yes.
And they're afraid of like, if you bring up like more people of different types and different beliefs and different cultures, it will disrupt this balance, and you'll be like at war again.
Yeah.
Like I can understand this fear theoretically.
Yeah, for me, I can understand it, but only in a very theoretical sense. I think like I see that, and I see that in like listening to like the kind of more right-wing rhetoric discussions. Where I think you're making a good point. That is, I think, a lot of what their fears like where they come from. Like, yeah, but obviously in a practical way from my life experience, being challenged in your ideas and being confronted with different things is a good thing.
Yeah.
And even if it sometimes creates a bit of chaos, like, I think in the long term as human race, we need to rethink our ideas of what separates us and what makes us different and what makes us similar.
Yeah.
And if you think of the global world in a like online way, there's no borders already.
Yeah.
But physically and financially, I think a lot of it comes from money. A lot of it comes from, like, of course, safety and like security and financial security, because any country who's ever experienced poverty wants to avoid that at any cost. And
Yes.
absolutely, that like coming from a family that's quite poor, like you need to make sure your poorest are taken care of. I don't believe that.
No, I'm not talking about them.
Yeah.
The politicians, as we said, are completely stupid. I'm talking about the people.
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking about the people that
No.
they have their own fears, and like the politicians like they take these fears and they manage to motivate people to vote according to these fears. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know what you were saying. I was just bringing it back to
Yeah. This question was about spiders.
God.
So to
social annihilation.